Every single day for 2 weeks straight, Lauren's 75-pound boxer walked around the house with his tongue hanging out and the saddest eyes she had ever seen. She rushed him to the vet, convinced something was seriously wrong. The doctor examined him in complete silence and then said one word. That one word explained everything, and Lauren could not stop laughing. Every single morning, without fail, Lauren's 75-pound boxer named Biscuit did the same thing. He walked straight to her side of the bed, planted his enormous, wrinkled face exactly 2 inches from hers, and breathed. Loudly, slowly, completely on purpose. That was their alarm clock. No phone, no beeping, just 75 pounds of fawn-colored drama and hot breath. Lauren had adopted Biscuit 3 years earlier from a rescue in Columbus, Ohio. He came in underweight, a little uncertain, with ears too big for his head and a way of looking at people that made them feel like they owed him something. By the end of the first week, he had claimed the good couch cushion, the sunny corner by the kitchen window, and Lauren's heart, fully, unconditionally, without asking permission. Their life together was wonderfully predictable. Morning walks before coffee, Biscuit stealing 1 sock from every clean laundry pile, never 2, always exactly 1. Evening routines where he would flop across Lauren's feet while she read, then pretend to be deeply offended when she needed to get up. He was goofy and dramatic and entirely convinced that the world revolved around him. For 3 years, it did. Then Lauren got a phone call on a Tuesday afternoon in March. A local shelter had a 2-year-old boxer who had come in 3 weeks earlier. Healthy, sweet-natured, good with people. The staff said he was the kind of dog who just needed a calm home to finally exhale. They thought he and Biscuit might be a good match. Lauren hesitated for about 6 seconds, then she said yes. His name became Waffles. He arrived on a Friday evening, all wide eyes and nervous energy, sniffing every corner of the house like he was filing a very detailed inspection report. Biscuit watched from the hallway, still, quiet, which for a dog who once knocked over an entire bowl of soup trying to smell it from the counter was genuinely impressive. The first few days were careful and tender. Waffles slowly found his footing. He discovered the second-best couch cushion, the afternoon sunspot by the sliding door, and the exact shelf in the pantry where Lauren kept the treats. He was, by every measure, settling in beautifully. Lauren, wanting to make sure he felt safe and welcome, gave him a little extra attention, a few more ear scratches, a few more soft words in passing, a little more time. It was absolutely the right thing to do. Biscuit, however, had thoughts. It started subtly. Biscuit began sitting closer to Lauren than usual, which, given his previous proximity habits, was a logistical achievement. He would wedge himself between Lauren and Waffles on the couch with the calm authority of someone who had reserved that seat years ago and had the paperwork to prove it. But then came the tongue. Every time Lauren reached over to pet Waffles, he would slowly, deliberately stick out his tongue. Not a quick flick, a full, extended, ceremonial presentation. He would hold it there, drooping over his bottom lip, and stare at Lauren with the saddest eyes she had ever seen on a living creature, as if he were silently delivering a very long speech about loyalty and the nature of betrayal. Lauren laughed every time. She couldn't help it. But after 4 days, the tongue wasn't going away. It was out during meals, during walks, during quiet evenings when nothing at all was happening. Biscuit walked through the house looking like a cartoon of himself, tongue hanging, eyes low, carrying the weight of a dog who has been wronged in ways no one fully understands. The laughter slowly turned into something quieter. I can see you're still watching, but you haven't subscribed yet. Honestly, that stings a little. Hit subscribe. You're gonna want to see how this ends. Lauren started watching Biscuit carefully. He was eating, he was drinking. He still followed her from room to room like a furry shadow with strong feelings about personal space. But the tongue never went back in, not fully. It just hung there day after day like a tiny flag of distress. She started searching online at 11 at night, which is never a good idea and always leads to the most alarming conclusions. By midnight, she had read about 3 different neurological conditions, a jaw muscle disorder, and something involving inner ear pressure that she still couldn't pronounce correctly. She booked the earliest vet appointment she could find. The night before, she sat on the kitchen floor between both dogs, Biscuit on her left, Waffles on her right. She stayed there for a long time without saying anything. Biscuit rested his heavy head on her knee. His tongue was still out, just slightly, curling softly over his bottom lip. "You're okay," she whispered. "You have to be okay." Waffles was already snoring. The vet's office smelled like antiseptic and Lauren's anxiety, which had been building since 11 the previous night. She sat in the waiting room with Biscuit pressed against her shins, running through every possible diagnosis in her head and ranking them from manageable to catastrophic. When the vet finally came in, he was a calm, methodical man named Dr. Ellison with a quiet way of moving through a room. He examined Biscuit slowly and thoroughly. He checked his mouth, his gums, his throat. He pressed gently along his jaw and neck. He looked at his eyes. He made small, non-committal sounds. And yes, I see, in a tone that revealed absolutely nothing. Lauren gripped the edge of the exam table. Dr. Ellison straightened up. He looked at Biscuit for one long moment, then he turned to Lauren with a completely neutral expression. "Jealousy," he said. Lauren blinked. "I'm sorry." "He's jealous." Dr. Ellison's face broke into a slow, warm smile. Classic boxer behavior. When a new dog enters the home, they sometimes perform. The tongue, the sad eyes. He's completely healthy. He just wants you to notice him. He said it so warmly, so simply, that Lauren felt the tension leave her body all at once. She looked down at Biscuit. Biscuit looked back at her, tongue out, eyes wide, completely unashamed. Lauren laughed so hard she had to sit down on the little bench by the door. Stories like this one are the reason we keep sharing them, because sometimes the love between a person and their dog is just this quiet, ridiculous, deeply human thing, and it deserves to be seen. She drove home with both hands on the wheel and a smile she couldn't turn off. Biscuit rode in the back seat looking like he had won something significant. Waffles was asleep before they hit the first red light. That evening, Lauren sat on the kitchen floor again. Same spot, same two dogs on either side. But this time she pulled them both close. Equal scratches, equal attention, equal everything. She gave Biscuit a long, slow ear rub and whispered, "I see you, buddy. I always see you." Biscuit's tongue slowly, ceremoniously went back into his mouth. It was the most dignified exit of a dramatic performance Lauren had ever witnessed. Over the following weeks, something genuinely beautiful settled into their home. Biscuit and Waffles found their rhythm. Biscuit kept the good couch cushion, Waffles got the sunny spot by the door. They shared the morning walk without incident. They ate side by side. They napped in the same patch of afternoon light on the living room rug, two boxers in a pile, their wrinkled faces soft and unguarded. Some mornings, Lauren would come downstairs and find them both at the bottom of the stairs, waiting, side by side, two sets of wide, wrinkled faces tilted up at her in perfect unison, tails moving in completely different rhythms. It was the most ridiculous and most wonderful thing she had ever seen. She took a photo every single time. There is something quietly profound about the way animals ask for love. They cannot use words, so they use everything else. A drooping tongue, a pair of pleading eyes, a slow, deliberate lean into your hand. They just need to know they haven't been forgotten. Lauren hadn't. She never would. The house that once held just two, one woman and one dramatic tongue-happy boxer, now held three, and every morning still started exactly the same way. Not one wide, wrinkled face breathing heavily 2 inches from Lauren's face, but two sets of warm, slow breath, two tails beginning to move even before her eyes fully opened. She wouldn't have it any other way. If you're thinking about bringing a second dog into your home, remember this: your first dog has a whole heart too. Take your time with introductions, give equal love, equal attention, equal space. They don't need much, they just need to know they still matter. Because they do, they always do. Here's something Lauren told me later that I haven't been able to think about. She said that in all the worry, the late-night searching, the vet visit, the 2 days of quiet dread, she never once considered giving Biscuit back or rehoming Waffles, not for a single second. She said the thought never even formed, and she thinks that's because Biscuit, in his ridiculous, dramatic, completely over-the-top way, was never actually asking her to choose. He was just asking her to remember. There's a difference, a big one.
Dogs don't want to be the only thing in your life. They just want to be sure they're still in it. Biscuit didn't need the whole couch. He just needed to know his corner was still his. He didn't need all of Lauren's attention. He just needed enough of it to feel like he hadn't been quietly replaced. That's not drama. That's love with no vocabulary. That's a creature doing the only thing it knows how to do when the words don't exist, making itself impossible to ignore. And honestly, it worked. And if your dog suddenly starts walking around the house with their tongue hanging out and the saddest eyes you've ever seen, maybe save yourself the late-night searching and the vet copay. It might just be jealousy. Was Biscuit a total drama queen, or was he completely justified? Drop your answer in the comments. I need to know which side you're on.